The legend of the lost Confederate gold has tantalized historians, fortune seekers, and conspiracy theorists for over a century. It is a tale of war, desperation, and a missing fortune that could be worth hundreds of millions today. But where did it go? Was it stolen, secretly buried, or hidden away in a forgotten bank vault? This mystery begins in the final days of the American Civil War. As the Confederacy crumbled in the spring of 1865, rumors swirled that Jefferson Davis and his government fled Richmond, Virginia, carrying with them vast amounts of gold, silver, and currency. The Confederate treasury, possibly worth millions, vanished. But what happened to it? Some believe the gold was smuggled out of the country, financing secret Southern resistance movements. Others think it was buried in hidden locations across the South, waiting for the right hands to reclaim it. And then there are tales of Union soldiers intercepting the treasure, dividing it among themselves, and leaving only whispers of its existence behind. The deeper I dug into these stories, the more unanswered questions I found. Was the gold truly lost, or was it deliberately hidden? Did it ever exist in the first place, or was it a wartime myth that grew into legend? If it's still out there, where should we start looking? As a treasure hunter, I knew that only one thing could cut through the fog of history: evidence. And so, my journey began. Welcome to History Love. Before we dive deeper into this incredible mystery, let me introduce myself and my channel. I'm the creator of History Love, a place where the past comes alive. Here we uncover forgotten stories, unravel historical mysteries, and dig deep into the legends that have shaped our world. From lost treasures to unsolved conspiracies, every episode on History Love is a journey through time, guided by facts, curiosity, and the thrill of discovery. So, if you love history as much as I do, join me on this adventure. Subscribe to History Love, and together, let's search for the truth behind the lost Confederate gold. The legend was born in a time of chaos, as the flames of war threatened to consume a nation. It began with a desperate act. When the Union Army stood on the brink of invading New Orleans, the Confederacy scrambled to secure its wealth. Millions of dollars in gold, the lifeblood of the Southern war effort, were hurriedly removed and sent to Columbus, Georgia. Within the thick, ironclad vaults of the Iron Bank, the fortune found momentary refuge, its gleam hidden behind locked doors. But gold, as always, was never safe for long. In October of 1862, the call to move the treasure came once more. General P.G.T. Beauregard was ordered to retrieve the fortune from the bank, but the keeper of the vault, William H. Young, refused. What followed was a confrontation shrouded in secrecy. Young, though unwilling, was forced to relinquish the treasure. The gold vanished into Confederate hands, but from that moment on, its fate was lost to history. Even Beauregard himself years later admitted, "What became of that coin is a mystery." The war raged on, and with it, the Confederate treasury dwindled. In the final desperate days of the South, as the walls of Richmond trembled under Union fire, President Jefferson Davis fled, carrying with him the last remnants of the Confederacy's wealth. It was a dwindling fortune, yet still a king's ransom, over $500,000 in gold and silver bullion. But Davis was a man on the run. Pursued by Union forces, he could not keep the burden of riches for long. Piece by piece, the treasure was dispersed, some to General Joseph E. Johnston to pay his soldiers, some to bankers who promised safekeeping, and some to the loyal cavalrymen who escorted him southward. The Confederate president was ultimately captured in Georgia with nothing but the clothes on his back. Yet whispers persisted. Union General Henry Halleck reported that Davis had fled with gold worth $6 to $13 million, hidden in wagons traveling south. No such fortune was ever found. Had it been intercepted? Secretly buried? Smuggled out of the country to finance a shadowy Southern resurgence? Then there was the case of George Trenholm, the Confederate Treasury Secretary. A man of means and mystery, Trenholm was later accused of embezzling millions in Southern assets before vanishing from Davis's side. He was arrested after the war, but the full truth of his dealings was never uncovered. What was real? What was myth? The lost Confederate gold was no longer just treasure. It was a ghost haunting the corridors of history, leaving behind only questions, rumors, and the allure of a fortune yet to be found. And so the search begins. The hunt begins. Where could the lost Confederate gold be hidden? Gold does not simply vanish. It leaves traces, whispers in old letters, clues in forgotten ledgers, and echoes in the stories passed down through generations. The Confederate gold may have disappeared from official records, but its legend lived on, growing stronger with every rumor of a secret stash, every explorer who swore they were close, and every treasure map scribbled on tattered parchment. If the gold still exists, where could it be? 1. The depths of Lake Michigan, a sunken fortune? One of the most captivating theories suggests that the Confederate gold found its way to the Great Lakes, aboard a train bound for Canada. Some believe that Union officials, eager to erase the last remnants of the Confederacy's power, seized the shipment and secretly disposed of it. According to legend, the treasure was loaded onto a ship, only for it to sink beneath the cold, dark waves of Lake Michigan, where it remains to this day, waiting for a diver brave enough to find it. 2. The woods of Wilkes County, a hidden rebel stash? In the final days of his flight, Jefferson Davis's convoy passed through Wilkes County, Georgia. Local lore tells of wagons that never made it past those dense southern woods. Some say gold and silver coins were buried under the cover of darkness, hidden from the advancing Union troops. Even today, treasure hunters scour the land, metal detectors in hand, hoping to unearth the fortune that Davis himself may have left behind. 3. The caves of Georgia, a forgotten vault? Another theory leads us deeper underground. The South is home to a labyrinth of caves, natural vaults of stone, untouched for centuries. Some believe Confederate loyalists, desperate to preserve their government's wealth, hid the remaining gold in one of these shadowed caverns. Certain caves in Georgia have long been rumored to hold strange engravings, symbols carved into rock. Could they be the forgotten key to unlocking the treasure's final resting place? 4. Buried under a bank, a secret kept by Southern financiers? A more calculated theory suggests that the treasure never left the hands of powerful Southern bankers. In the war's final days, Davis dispersed much of the Confederate wealth to banks that promised safekeeping. But when the Union claimed victory, those bankers had little incentive to return the fortune to the fallen government. Could the gold have been quietly absorbed into the financial system, hidden beneath bank vaults that still stand today? 5. Smuggled out of the country, a treasure beyond reach? Perhaps the greatest mystery of all is whether the gold even remains on American soil. Some accounts suggest that Confederate sympathizers smuggled the fortune out of the country entirely, financing post-war Southern interests from the shadows. There are whispers of Confederate gold appearing in Havana, Cuba, and even reaching as far as Europe, where it was laundered into private hands, its true origins forever erased. The deeper we dig, the more tangled the mystery becomes. Is the gold truly lost, or is it simply waiting for the right eyes to see its trail? One thing is certain: if the treasure still exists, it holds not just wealth but the final untold secrets of the Civil War. And the hunt for its truth is far from over. Did the FBI find the lost Confederate gold? For centuries, treasure hunters have scoured the country for any trace of the lost Confederate gold. But in recent years, one theory has taken an unexpected turn, leading straight to the FBI. The story unfolds in Dents Run, Pennsylvania, a secluded stretch of wilderness off Route 555. Here, a father and son treasure hunting team, Dennis and Kem Parada, claim to have discovered a buried Civil War-era gold cache. According to their research, a lost shipment of Union gold, possibly tied to the Confederate treasure, was hidden deep in these Pennsylvania hills. Their discovery was supposed to be monumental. But then the FBI arrived. The mysterious FBI dig. In 2018, FBI agents, accompanied by state officials, descended upon the Dents Run site. Under the cover of secrecy, they conducted a dig in the remote forest, allegedly searching for lost gold. Witnesses reported that the excavation took place under heavy surveillance, with armed federal agents securing the perimeter. The operation lasted for several days. And then silence. The FBI later stated that they had found nothing. No gold, no treasure, just dirt. But Dennis and Kem Parada didn't believe it. Had the FBI discovered the gold and secretly taken it away? So why keep it a secret? A government cover-up? Rumors swirled that the FBI had uncovered a significant haul of gold and confiscated it without telling the public, or the treasure hunters who had led them there. The Paradas insisted they had been cut out of the discovery, even though their research had led to the dig. Legal battles soon followed. Court documents revealed that an FBI special agent, Jacob B. Archer, had applied for a federal warrant to seize the treasure, bypassing Pennsylvania state officials. Why would the FBI request a federal warrant unless they believed the gold was real? And why was there no official record of what was actually found? In 2023, the case resurfaced when Pennsylvania state officials were ordered to release communications between the FBI and state authorities regarding the dig. If the government had truly found nothing, why were so many records being kept under wraps? Was this the missing Confederate gold? One theory suggests that the Dents Run gold may have been part of a lost Union shipment from the Civil War, rather than Confederate gold. However, another possibility is that Southern sympathizers had moved Confederate treasure north to avoid detection. Some researchers believe secret networks smuggled gold out of the South through Pennsylvania and into Canada, where it could be safely stored or laundered. If this theory is true, the Dents Run gold could have been the last hidden stash of Confederate wealth, left forgotten until modern treasure hunters uncovered its location. But if that's the case, where is the gold now? Did the FBI find the lost Confederate gold and cover it up? Or is the treasure still buried somewhere, waiting for the next hunter to uncover its secrets? One thing is certain, the Dents Run case is far from closed. What if the lost Confederate gold never existed? For over a century, treasure hunters, historians, and conspiracy theorists have chased whispers of the lost Confederate gold. Millions of dollars in gold and silver, said to have vanished in the final days of the Civil War, have fueled countless expeditions, secret government digs, and late-night speculation. But what if the greatest treasure hunt in American history is built on nothing more than myth? The power of a legend. History has a way of turning uncertainty into legend. During the chaotic collapse of the Confederacy, it's true that Jefferson Davis and his government fled Richmond with the last of their treasury. It's also true that the exact fate of that wealth remains unclear. However, the vast sums often reported, anywhere from $6 million to $13 million in gold and silver, have never been definitively proven. The first reports of Confederate gold being lost came from Union General Henry Halleck, who speculated in an 1865 dispatch that Davis was fleeing with a fortune. But this estimate may have been exaggerated for military and political reasons. If the Union believed Davis had access to enormous wealth, it justified their aggressive pursuit. The problem? When Davis was finally captured, no treasure was found. Money spent, not stashed? Official records suggest that rather than hoarding a hidden fortune, Davis was spending the last of the Confederate funds as he fled south. Some of it was used to pay General Joseph E. Johnston's troops. Some was deposited in banks, and some was handed out to loyal cavalrymen as the Confederate leadership disbanded. By the time Davis reached his final destination in Georgia, there was nothing left. If Davis had truly been sitting on millions in gold, why would he have surrendered in near poverty? The role of Southern banks. Another key detail often ignored is that much of the Confederate wealth was never in Davis's hands to begin with. In the final days of the war, Southern banks absorbed much of the remaining gold for safekeeping. After the war, these same institutions became part of the post-war U.S. economy. The supposed missing gold may have simply been laundered into private hands, never lost, just redistributed among the financial elite. In fact, some records indicate that Confederate money was used to establish post-war businesses and industries. Rather than buried treasure waiting to be found, the real Confederate fortune may have helped rebuild the South under new names and ownership. A deliberate misdirection? Some historians argue that the Confederate gold legend was a calculated deception, spread by the South to make Union forces believe in a financial ghost chase. Others suggest that it became a convenient post-war conspiracy, an exciting mystery that distracted from the actual economic shifts happening in Reconstruction-era America. If Confederate gold was never truly lost, but simply absorbed into private fortunes, smuggled into international markets, or spent to the last dollar, then modern treasure hunters may be chasing an illusion. But myths have power. And as long as people believe in the lost Confederate gold, the search will continue. The lost Confederate gold, a secret that will never be uncovered. For generations, the legend of the lost Confederate gold has haunted history, whispered in dimly lit taverns, scribbled on treasure maps, and hunted in the deepest woods and darkest waters. Some believe it lies hidden beneath the earth, waiting for a daring explorer to uncover its gleaming fortune. Others suspect that powerful hands long ago seized it, wiping away its trail to keep the truth buried. And then there are those who say it never existed at all, that the chase has always been a phantom pursuit, a legend built on smoke and shadow. Yet, despite all the searches, all the theories, all the promises of discovery, no one has ever truly found the lost Confederate gold. Was it buried beneath the forests of Georgia? Lost in the depths of Lake Michigan? Seized in secret by the FBI? Smuggled out of the country, its trace erased from history? Or was it simply spent piece by piece until there was nothing left but the myth? No one can say for certain. Perhaps that is the greatest secret of all, not where the gold is but whether it was ever there to begin with. And if the answer does exist, it has been swallowed by time itself, locked away forever in the past. The truth of the lost Confederate gold will remain a mystery, never to be revealed, never to be proven. Some secrets are never meant to be found. But if you love unraveling history's greatest mysteries, exploring hidden truths and discovering forgotten legends. Join us on History Love. Magnifying Glass Tilted Right. Subscribe to History Love on YouTube for more deep dives into the past, where secrets wait to be uncovered. The hunt for history never ends. Will you be the one to find the truth?